Okay.
Here we go. All right, we're back. Back.
Back before we started.
Oh my God. Okay, bro. So where were we, man?
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about, a lot of my life. And it was getting really hot in here, y'all. So
We opened a door or a window. Not a door. That's a window. When one door closes, a window opens.
And we turned on the AC. So
Yep.
So we're having so much fun. This is so good. I am so happy to see my brother Remby.
Hi.
Give it up for Remby. I appreciate you, man. I can't thank you enough, man. I am humble. Like when I started this, like when I had the idea to start with this, like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Communication is one of them. I'm like, man, how am I going to, if we're doing this in French, we're doing it in Creole, even in Spanish, I could do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? But like English, man, this is a tough language, man.
Yeah.
And with the story that I told you earlier, the stigma stays with me. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to recalibrate my brain.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? To actually say, okay, Jean, we're here. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I was questioning myself, man, how am I going to do this, man? I can't even speak the language. You know what I'm saying to you? Like,
You're
why
doing
am
amazing, by the way.
I appreciate you, my brother. I'm like, I can't even speak the language, man. How am I gonna keep people engaged? What am I gonna, like, what am I going to ask in that interview? You know what I'm saying to you? And I'm like, okay, so here's the way we're going to do it, man. You want to do something? Just do it.
Okay.
It comes to your heart, just do it.
Yeah.
And see how it goes. Hopefully you fall flat on your ass.
Yeah.
Or you just stand up on both of your feet.
And it's all data.
All data.
It's all data.
Put it here. All data.
Call back.
Oh my God, I love it.
I should probably let you know now. I originally came to Chicago for comedy. I was doing. I came originally for improv.
Really?
Yeah, I had a life at the IO Theater and was
Really?
getting into Second City. And then, of course, the pandemic happened. Pow!
Boom.
And that just decimated that.
Man, you have SNL written all over you, man.
Okay.
SNL written all over you, brother.
I will have you know, apparently it is it's been known as the worst job that everybody wants.
Really?
SNL. It is a pressure cooker.
Really?
There. Oh yeah, it is hard. Apparently it's a very tough job.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even think so. I would not even think so. Like the only person I see that, this is a really tough job for him is I don't even know if I know his name. Is it Jake? Is that his name? He was dating Kim Kardashian after Kanye West broke up with her.
With the tattoos.
Yeah, with a lot of tattoos and stuff. Like he's the only person. Hey, y'all know who we're talking about.
We forgot the name.
Exactly.
Please don't sue us.
Hey, make us famous, sue us, make us famous, Yeah, I can't. He's the only person that I can tell that. Oh, he looks like he's under a lot of pressure. Every time I look at him, you know what I mean. You can tell like he's just like maybe he just smoked something, or he just snorted something. I don't know. I'm just saying he looks really stressed out. Yeah. Anytime I see him, So, but other than that, like I'm looking at Michael and Che.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys they look really like they're having the time of their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know he was.
But you know what? That's why I am happy where I am now. But yeah, no, it's originally, yeah, I mean, originally I came out here for I mean, it really came down to the entertainment industry. I was always a musician. I mean, since I was a kid,
Yeah.
we had a piano in the house. I
Yeah.
had one music lesson. The teacher came in, showed me where middle C is, and then after that went, this kid's not going to get it. And then after that, I just, well, okay, I have this thing here. Had no idea how to read. I remember middle C. I do remember just that's the name of that note. After that, I just dinked around on this piano and kind of learned these shapes, those shapes. But then it wasn't until like middle school I got into band, played trumpet. That's why I learned music was on trumpet.
You play what? Like you play like 10 instruments or something like that?
Oh, I'm working on 23. My goal is 50 by 50.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
It's
I shouldn't have asked you that question.
Oh no, you
just 23. I was here, now I'm down here.
Oh no. I played 23 instruments, but I am a jack of all trades. Might not be the master of them all, but sometimes it is the being good enough. Actually, that was a thing I also learned for anyone who's trying to be a musician, especially the younger folks. I remember there was when I was in school,
right?
Any music program that I was in, whether it was in middle school, high school, and then in college, it wasn't my degree, but I still took jazz. I was in the jazz band. I was just kind of doing that because it was a good time.
Yeah.
But the thing was that there was this pressure to become as a perfectionist. You have to be perfect at your one instrument because people will hire you as a trumpet player or as a bassist or as a guitarist or as a violinist. And so you need to be perfect at that one thing. And there are a lot of kids who put so much pressure on themselves to do that. And eventually I noticed it kind of, they went through, they were virtuosos. And then when they graduated, they said, I won music and now off to sales.
That's usually what happens. That's usually what happens.
And sometimes the kids get
because they never really had fun doing it.
Yeah,
it was just the pressure.
There was a lot of pressure. That said, granted, there are a lot of people who were able to create good music careers out of that. However, I would say the strength that I found when I finally did make the leap to making music a career was in my versatility. The amount of instruments I could play. Because I don't need to be the best bassist to be able to fill in for someone.
Right.
I don't need to be the best guitarist. I just need to be good enough that I can start something. I can write songs. I can do these things.
Right.
And
I love it.
Doing that, that's what gets you the foot in the door. The next thing though is you should try to be as good at your art as you can. I'm not going to say
just live it as you started.
Yeah. But then this is where I found actually that jack of all trades is what can make you the master of many, because and this actually will go into how we chat about Catjam. This is a big philosophy I have.
Which we have to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because I want y'all to hear about Catjam and the series that you have going on as well. With the play.
We're
going to talk about it as well. Yes, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's I did have took also, like when I was learning how to play jazz, I did get a guitar instructor for a little bit. So I was playing jazz guitar, and I remember he said, well, Alex, you know how to get better, right? And I went, I know, practice. He said, no, perform. Have a band, play. And because the thing is, you can practice your scales in your bedroom all you want. And you should be trying things to be technical, but that's not going to be what gets you to the next level. What it is when you have that live feedback, when you're able to you don't work an instrument, you play an instrument, when you're able to actually click in to the moment, to the music. And that happens in a very communal space. It happens with each other, and you're getting the live feedback. You're communicating with each other in ways that maybe you can't. And as you're doing that, music suddenly becomes less of a science of trying to get the right notes, but more of a language of what's the message that we're telling.
Yeah, that's what music is.
And that's going to be where it's like a language. You become more and more fluent as you practice it, and you begin to sound better and better. And just as we were talking about language a little bit before. And like, so it's the thing of, I find so many people who are getting into, thinking about getting into music, or they're, even if they're 40 years old and going, yeah, I would love, I know a little bit of guitar. I'd love to do a performance, or I'd love to go to Catjam. I just don't think I'm good enough. But I think they have it flipped. It's you don't have to be, or it's don't be, or you don't try to be good enough to perform. Perform so you'll be good enough.
Good enough. You gotta say that twice. Like, some things don't just go. Just say, you can say that just once, man. You gotta repeat that. You gotta say that again.
Yeah, it's you don't need to be good enough to perform. If you perform, you'll be good enough.
There you go.
Yeah. So really, it's getting out there, taking the risk, failing, getting that understanding, and you always get back up. And so long as you're doing that, I was a troubled kid in band. I was the kid, I played euphonium.
I already know. You ain't gotta tell me,
yeah.
man.
Well, yeah, no, like it was a thing. I remember I was kind of that lazy musician many times. I wouldn't practice, and I remember a band director stopped the entire group, pointed at me, and said, "You do understand you was wrong with this band right now." That was 9th grade. Like that's a whiplash moment.
First of all, who says that to a 9th grader? Like, who said, like, point your finger? Like, anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but and that stuff sticks with you. That'll stick with you.
Yeah.
But in many ways, that was data to that the thing I learned from that, and I think the teacher was probably hoping that I was either gonna get me either out of the class or put a chip on my shoulder that I'd practice and get so much better. I would say what that did I don't think it taught me that. What I think it did teach me though, when I teach, I never want anyone to feel like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Never will I want a student to feel.
It's kind of like how people treat you. You don't want to, you feel like, no, I'm never going to treat people that way. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You have two reactions to that. When someone treats you poorly is either, you could say, I have this hurt and I feel others deserve that hurt, or I have this hurt and I'll do everything in my power to make it stop with me.
So I don't spread it around.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Oh,
Good for you.
yeah.
Good for you. I've seen, like, I've heard that quote that people will forget a lot of things you do for them, to them, toward them, with them. There's one thing they'll never forget is how you treat them.
Yeah. How you make them feel.
Yeah. How you make them feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, it's and that's a huge part of it. I think and when I'm I guess maybe as an empathy based band directing or leading is when I'm performing live, I'll be with a band, either I'm supporting or I'm headlining or not headlining, fronting the band. But I'll hear, I make mistakes. I'm not people in the band make mistakes. The worst thing you can do in a moment when someone's making a mistake, or just the set in general isn't feeling so good, is this. Like, that's not gonna make for a good show.
You got me. I hate that you didn't stay at a second city.
Oh, we'll get there in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, with the face, giving the person the face.
Yeah.
That's the one of the worst. Yeah.
It's and that because that will kill their confidence.
Yeah.
When their confidence is killed, they will never be able to rise to the occasion.
That's true.
It is, and this is actually.
I've done it a lot of times, by the way, but that's true.
Yeah, right.
Because you're the empathy-based director.
Yeah.
I am the opposite.
Naughty.
Because and I do it with this with all the Haitian in me. You know what I mean? Because, like, Haitian, we do everything with passion.
Yeah.
We speak loud. We speak really loud. And everything we're doing, it has to be everything has to be to the T. You know what I mean? We're going to work with what we have, but what we have has to be to the T.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Even though the threshold is supposed to be 100, but what we have only offer us a threshold of 50.
Yeah.
We want to reach the 100
Yeah.
with the 50.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would point, no. Anytime I hear it, even when I'm practicing with Spence, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, man, Spence is happy. He's loved.
Yeah.
He's kind of like you. You know what I'm saying? He's like he's like you. And I'm looking at him like, bro, I don't know if I like this, man. And when I say like you, as far as like with you one of those people that I know that I see with. You're happy go lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is, it is well. It's like it's always well with you. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing with Spence. Yeah. Everything's always chill. Everything's always well. Like with me, nothing is well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Nothing is well.
It could always be better.
It could always
be better.
You know what I'm saying? And it could be for the slightest thing, my brother. Yeah. It could be the slightest thing. It could. It's not even. It could always be better. It's always, man. It's really bad. It's not even like it could get better. It's really bad.
And I think that's a thing that it's not when I talk about not making the stink face. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're not holding each other accountable. It's not like you're not acknowledging that there are mistakes. Mm-hmm. And once again, it's how do we react? Exactly.
No, not like you said. Like you have to be mindful how you, especially if you're the director, you have to be mindful how you make that person feel.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying to you? And I've heard some people. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I wish I could see them today to apologize, but unfortunately, I can't apologize to them. By the way, I apologize. You know who you are. Some of you that when we were in practice and I acted a certain way, I'm sorry. In case you watch this, in case you stumble upon this video.
I'm also sorry on John's behalf.
See? So you got two people apologizing
also
to you now.
Sorry for the people that I have ever made a stink face at, or who wish I made the stink face at, or literally every. Is this just going to be the podcast where you apologize for every single thing that we've done?
Hey, we can turn into that.
I'm going to grab my jack. I have a list. Open up a scroll. All right, my first apology is to James Frankels in second grade. I stole your orange crayon and I didn't tell you.
Did you really? Did you?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, second grade. You don't remember that stuff.
Yeah, right? Because I ate too many crayons. Anyway.
We all did. We all did.
We all ate.
I think I was the number one at eating crayon. Yeah. I was the number one, I think.
But
yeah. Yeah, so it's like, the evidence, the empathy-based, choir director, so you you kind of give the person grace.
Yeah. There's the grace, and I think the other thing, too, is, and this is actually a lot I took from the improv world that I want to bring to music as best I can. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of musicians, they don't do this because they don't learn the same things that actors do. And actors don't learn a lot of things that musicians do. These are two worlds that actually are so similar. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame that they don't meet as more than I think they should. Mm-hmm. The thing is, in improv, at least at the IO Theater, when I did their training, their philosophy is very much your job as an improviser, your job as a performer is to make your partner look like a genius. Mm-hmm. If everyone is doing their job, everyone's going to look like a genius, right? Mm-hmm. You're lifting each other up.
Right.
So when I'm there and, my drummer is maybe starting to drag or, something's going on, I need to think, okay, what can I do to make them look like a genius? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm, Sometimes it will be I will change the way I play to try to fit in, to make it fit. Right. Or I'll try to figure out how can I make a move. Maybe do we need to end the song and then be able to give them a chance to regroup? Mm-hmm. I know in improv you'll be doing a scene, a theatrical scene. Right. I have been in so many scenes where I'm standing there going, get me off this stage. Right, this scene is dead. It is dying. I need someone to help me. And when someone runs across to wipe, which ends the scene, one person might think, "Oh, that's so rude. They didn't like your scene and they just ended it right there." I go, "That was a mercy kill right there." That was the kindest thing anyone can do sometimes, is to be like, "Okay, that happened. We are moving forward."
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you for getting me off the stage. But then, so it's there is a lot of how I navigate performance that I think it does come down to, viewing my stage partners, viewing my audience, viewing them as geniuses. These people are geniuses. They're sharp. When you do that, right, you can lift others to who they should be.
Just kind of like you lifting me up right now.
Well, I
appreciate
hope,
you, my
of
brother.
Course,
I
of
appreciate
course,
you. I hope I'm doing the same.
You absolutely are. You absolutely are.
You know?
Yeah.
But speaking of the improv, tell us a little bit more about that. Like when you came, because earlier you mentioned that when you came to Chicago, you came, for comedy.
Yeah.
Really. And what happened?
Yeah. So I was at the IO Theater. I did their courses, kind of went through their training center. And then after that, I started into musical improv. So that was me improvising a musical. I was an actor, though, singing. So like you'd improvise a scene and then you improvise a song. And then you do that a couple times. Keep a narrative flow. You're paying attention to everything. You're keeping track of all the little jokes that happen along the way. And
you sing that part.
And you're singing. You find a character. You're singing through. It's beautiful.
That's tough, though.
Oh, it's challenging. It's a tightrope.
Yeah.
But it is thrilling.
I'm pretty sure.
It's I think improv is for adrenaline junkies of the artistic world. It gets your heart going. Woo.
And that's definitely you. It's definitely you. I can see you. I can see you. I see why you chose it. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's thrilling. It's fun. It's in the moment, and the connection you do feel with your fellow improvisers when a scene, a show went really well when you don't remember it because you were so in the zone that during it you caught everything and you're in, but you were so connected with your teammates that your your brain was not fully on the recording. You were in the connecting. They actually have done studies on this where they took improvisers and non-improvisers, put them through a brain scan, and they had them perform some improv. I think they did it with music as well, but mainly a scene. And they found the non-improvisers, their brains were on fire. They were all cylinders going, trying to gauge every possibility that could happen, making sure that they could have a plan. The improvisers, the trained improvisers, and I felt this, their brains were quiet. It was little bit here. And the reason is that they know, in improv, you cannot plan. Any plans get thrown out the window. You need to be in the moment. Improv is what we're doing right here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's...
Which I'm really bad at.
But we're doing... I'm thinking you're pretty darn good. You got to give yourself some more credit here,
bud. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I'm not gonna go lower. I'm gonna stay right here. I'm gonna stay right here.
You know, I have a friend who will constantly be mean to himself. And he says he doesn't mean it. So I'll just be, how dare you talk about my friend that way? Whenever.
I love it. Please remind me that. Remind me of that, because I need someone. Because Spence, he reminds me of that every time. That I one of the things you mentioned earlier is just not taking yourself too serious. And I think the sarcasm comes from taking myself too serious a lot of times. But
it can happen. Well, and Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, and the brain is just like,
oh yeah, absolutely dead quiet there. The thing is, yeah, so like when I was improvising as kind of in that zone, it was addicting. The next thing too, though, is like, or this is where I see the connection between theater and music. When I am improvising, playing trombone or guitar or any sax, whatever I'm playing at the time, it really is. For me, it's a communication, it's a conversation that I'm having, and I feel that same peace, that same tickle in my brain that I'm doing if I'm doing theatrical improv and I'm trying to find a character, or I'm doing music improv and I'm trying to find a motif. Like, these are the things that, like, it feels so similar. So when I bring what I've learned from theater back to music, a lot of what I'm doing, I feel like, is I'm just doing, I mean, my shows are shows. It's I'm before I'm a musician, before I'm an actor, before I'm a comedian, I'm a performer.
Right.
I'm a performer, and that's what I'm doing. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, bro. Like, so one of the things you said earlier, you were supposed to, weren't you supposed to go Second City though to
We did. I did. Well, I was in their music conservatory. So I was.
Were you?
Yeah, I was in the music conservatory, and
That's why you play 155 instruments. Then that makes sense.
But yeah, I went through that. But the thing was, like, things were just getting started, and that's when pandemic hit. And the thing is, what makes pandemic amazing. Or sorry, not what makes pandemic. Sorry, what makes Chicago amazing.
Yeah. Not the pandemic being amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it horrible in a pandemic. We are a social city.
You can say that again.
Yeah. So when the pandemic hit, it's like really took out the reason to live in Chicago. To live in Chicago, not the reason to live. But Chicago. But like so I moved back home to Seattle, and that was great because over there. We're talking about the Seattle freeze. People aren't social anyway, so that's fine. I mean, out there, it's
we're inside anyway.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's gorgeous country, so everyone's just hiking, biking, doing outside activities.
I've never been, man.
It's gorgeous.
I heard it's like really beautiful over there. I heard there's a lot of rain.
Yeah, it's and the rain though. It's just like I just have a bunch of jokes in my pocket about Seattle, but like that's the thing. The difference between Chicago and Seattle, socially with the people, you could see it in the rain because. In Chicago, the rain, just like the people, very forward, very much. We are here. We are raining. It is rain. It is coming down. This is happening. I am here. In Seattle, the rain, just like the people, very passive aggressive. It's just this light mist. It's like, hey, remember me? Did you check the weather? Did you check the weather? Yeah, we're there.
I'm here. You thought I was gone. I'm here.
But yeah, so that's the rain. It's more of a light mist. It doesn't get as cold over there. There are many reasons. Very nice. But yeah, I spent a summer there, and actually there I was brought back to music.
When you went back, over there,
it was a lot of music I wrote in my. I think it was good to kind of be on away from a lot of social stuff. Like I still lived with family, but there were a lot of times where I could spend a week or 2 weeks on my own. And sometimes that solitude, I'm a very social person, but that solitude, even though, it could drive me a little bonkers, it did force me into kind of looking at my passions and finding, well, what makes me happy even if no one else is here, right? What makes me happy when I'm not being watched? And that was that music. I put loops together. I have a looper. I was, I'm not the best at recording, but I was just kind of doing some, just creating songs with more technology that I could work with.
You did some of that at Uncommon Ground.
Yes. Oh, I love
live. Yeah.
Live loops, they're great.
Which I would never in my life, never try.
And it is a thing where you have to learn to be okay with mistakes.
Yeah.
When the loop is wrong, if you get an extra beat in there, I'm sorry, bud. Your song is now in 5/4 time.
It's
here you go. Get jazzy.
Get jazzy. Yeah, and you got a bunch of people waiting on you to get this jazzy.
Yeah, so you gotta. Yeah, I've learned that.
Right.
But yeah, I came back to Chicago when things started to look like things were lifting up because I wanted to go back to life I had. I enjoyed that life. But I came back and the IO Theater had closed down. It's back open again, but it closed down. Most of the theaters weren't having anything. So
yeah, most places.
Yeah. So I went back and I thought, stand up. That's comedy. That's kind of where I was trying. So I was doing stand up for a bit, and that's not my place. Very competitive. Basically, if we're two stand up comedians, either you're worse than me, and I don't like you because you're a bad stand up. Or you are better than me, and I hate you even more.
Because you're the gatekeeper.
Yeah, right? now you're my competition, right?
You can't win.
Yeah, it's hard out there. But so I was doing that for a time, and then there was a day, like there was a guy in an audience like got really drunk and threatened 3 of the comedians. It was a weird time. Whoa. But I had this moment when I went, I am working a 40-hour work week to feel like this. Like, what am I doing? So then I quit that. I remember having a moment where I just did not know what I was doing. My identity as a performer, I didn't know. Like, it was just kind of that classic walking down the street with my head sunk low. Like, what am I doing? And that's actually when I went past Uncommon Ground. Oddly enough,
really?
Uncommon Ground was the place. Wonderful brewery. They have a wonderful open mic, and like as I passed by,
one of my favorite places on earth.
Oh, absolutely. The room is so cozy.
The staff.
Oh, phenomenal.
Francisco.
Rafi. But yeah, I really like though yeah, I remember I was walking past and I heard music coming from inside, and I saw open mic, and I just kind of had this thought of like, I play guitar. I have some songs. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Yeah. So I took my guitar, I went in, and I remember playing one of my songs, and that entire attitude that I was talking about in stand-up at the competition, music is collaborative. And because of that, I suddenly was my heart was so filled with the people like you who I met there, but people who, what they do instead of like getting, they're trying to outpace you. If I see a musician who may be struggling, I want to encourage them. If I see a musician who's amazing and even better than me, I want to know them. I want to learn from them. I want to work with them.
That's me.
Yeah, you are. I want to work with you.
No.
There we go. Now we're learning. You're speaking nice to yourself. We did it.
That was it. I was trying to put the shoe in the right foot and it went on the left foot. No, I'm right there with you. Yeah. That's funny. I love it, man. I love it. That was good, man. That was good. But yeah, that's how we got connected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw you did some things that I'd never be able to do. First of all, like your level of security in the things you do has to be up to the freaking roof to stand up there and then say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this live. I'm going to create a song for you right now. Just sit here and watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, your security level has to be like, I'm talking about like confidence. You know what I'm saying? Your confidence is up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying to you? I have to be prepared. I have to practice. I have to be ready. I have to feel ready. You know what I'm saying to you? Everything has to be correct. Like, so that is the only thing, Remby, in my life that I want to do perfectly. You know what I mean? Obviously, providing therapy, I want to do that perfectly. Yeah. Obviously, that's that, but we're not talking about that right now. You know what I mean? But music, performance, and stuff like that, it has to be perfect for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's I'm still working on that, but yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, as far as like confidence, comfort on stage, I mean, that was definitely learned. There are two things. First is my advice to anyone who has stage fright or needs to learn. They're like, how do I feel comfortable on that stage? It really helps with with Uncommon Ground, but you can do this with most any stage. Is I will turn around, take a look. And I'll think first. I think either I'll think to myself or I'll actually use it as a bit for the performance. But I say, this is my living room. This stage is my living room. I am here in my living room, and these people, the audience, they are my guests. When you're at a house party, right? If you were holding a party and you were going to perform for your friends, do you feel more comfortable? I do.
You actually do.
Yeah, I feel
actually do. You do
because you feel supported. You feel you're in a good space. It's one of those things. And now, like, I'll do it comedically too. Is I'll tell the audience, "Hey, everyone, this is just part of my little process here. I'm just gonna take a moment and pretend this place is my living room. And I'll take a look around, and go, dang, this is nice." And just like I do like a 2-minute riff, just talking about everything as if it's my living room. I'm like, what's the rent for this place? Wow. 15, 16?
That's what makes it beautiful. That's what makes it that puts, I don't mean to cut you up, I'm sorry. It puts everything at ease. It puts everyone at ease. You know what I mean? Even the next performer coming in, they're like,
I hope.
Yeah.
Well, so it's like that's step one. Step two. Number two, the second point on comfort on the stage, actually is the first time I ever did stand up. I was 10 years old. I was at space camp with my cousin. This was back in Seattle, the Boeing Museum of Flight. They had a space camp, so we got to learn what it was like to be an astronaut, and it was so fun. We were doing all sorts of things, but at the very end of the camp, we were going to have like I don't know if he was a pilot or a real life astronaut. Someone important was going to come and talk to us about how cool space is. Well, what happened was that person was late. So the camp counselors are there going, "Hey, we need to fill some time. Does anyone have a song, a joke they want to say?" And this kid raises his hand and goes up. He's going to sing a song. So he sings a song. He gets the entire audience worked up. The counselors love him. The audience loves him. This guy is the darling of the entire auditorium. And there are like 500 kids in here. At least from my perspective. It may be much less, but when you're 10,
when you're 10, like everything is big.
Yeah,
everything is large.
You are so small.
Everything is large. I know, man.
But yeah, no, everything's
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah. So he goes and sings the song. It's amazing. He goes back. Everyone's applauding. And then the counselor said, "Hey, does anyone want to tell a joke?" And at that time, I learned what a roast was, which is where you make fun of someone. So I go up onto the stage in front of 500 kids and proceed to be the biggest asshole to this guy. I just started trying to do zinger after zinger, and they were not funny. They were just mean. I was on stage in front of 500 kids doing this to one kid. I get booed and hissed off the stage, rightfully so. And like, sorry, I gotta go grab that list that I have of people I need to say sorry to from my jacket. Hey, I'm so sorry. Your singing was beautiful. But the thing is I come back, I sit down. I love the moment I sit down. I'm like horrified going as the reality is setting in, and my cousin is sitting next to me. He just looks and he's like, "Why did you do that?" And then I look diagonal in front of me, and who is it but the kid I just went after, giving me death glare. How do you recover from that? But the thing is, ever since that, I still is like the top most humiliating moment of my life. I'm not the most, but I've had some. But one of the most humiliating moments of my life. But it was an inoculation, I would say. It made it so anytime I go up, I just think it will never, ever be worse than that. And I've gotten through that. So whenever I go on stage, I'm like, what's the worst gonna happen? I'm gonna hit a weird note that's gonna be an awkward night. You know,
Right.
I'm gonna go home. They're gonna go home. I've had bad shows. People've seen bad shows. I've seen bad shows. I don't really remember. Maybe there are a couple bad shows I remember, but those people probably don't know it. I don't know.
Right.
But it's really not even a thing. Like, the only person who probably carries that now is me.
Life goes on.
Yeah, unless I am so sorry, bud. I hope I did not end your music career. Your voice is amazing. Please, if I see you, I will apologize. Come to Cat Jam.
In Chicago.
In Chicago. But
let's break bread.
But yeah, no. So that's what helps so much is that it's like the stakes are actually quite low. We built these stakes up in our head, and so we gotta remember that the performance is up here, right?
That's good talk. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Like this is something I'm still fighting with. I'm still fighting with that. You know what I mean? Like, because it's especially when you see a room. Because I the places I perform the most are churches, and churches when you have there's a spot where you stand, like it's actually the pew where you up there and you looking at everyone down. You understand what I'm saying? And everyone's looking at you like,
yeah, you're on high. That's a lot of pressure up there.
That is a lot of pressure up there.
That's a very strange layout for a living room.
So you're standing there, you're like, oh my gosh, and but it doesn't matter, Remby, how many times I perform there. Even at this church or a different church or even anywhere for that matter. Because I've been singing, performing like in front of big audiences since I was like 13. You know what I mean? My first album, it was a cappella in Haiti. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to places and singing and I'm signing autograph.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? Like, Michael Jackson of Haiti.
Wow. Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sitting here with royalty. My goodness.
But I was just thinking about that the other day. I was talking to my pastor and I was telling him this, and it was like, wow, man, like everyone's shocked. Like for me, like it's no big deal. It's not, because like I don't care so much about what I did. It was just like how I did it. Like I'm sitting here asking myself, like, how did I do this?
Yeah.
How was that possible?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like writing and performing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess the point that I'm that I'm driving at is that even after all this time, I'm still angst.
Yeah.
The angst still like I'm talking about like present, like really present when I'm about to perform. You know what I mean? It never leaves me. It's just like if I'm going to sing right now, I can't talk to anyone. You know what I mean? I can't talk to anyone. Even if I talk to some people, it is just like, you know, you want to be polite or whatever. You know what I'm saying to you? But like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to hear anyone. I want to be focused in my head and connect with myself. Yeah. And then connect with the spirit that I'm supposed to be connected with, which is always the spirit, you know, God's spirit, because I'm singing in a church. You know what I'm saying to you? But it's if I'm performing anywhere out there, it's still the same thing. Yeah. I still feel that like my heart's going like this. Yeah. It's going like this. It's going like this. I'm like, when am I gonna go? Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh gosh, it's time now. Even when I have like my show, you know what I mean? Like I got like 11 songs. Even on the 11th song, after 10 songs, the last song, I'm still as nervous. Yeah. You know?
It's I mean, a little bit of that fear of failure, perhaps. Or maybe it's just the fear of the place itself. But
yeah, I think for me, it's just like the fear of failure. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like I said, like this is one thing I need to get rid of. I need to stop taking myself too seriously. You know what I mean? I need to get in the world of getting it's okay to fail. It's okay to actually it's okay to not stand in front of the world as that giant. It's okay to be down here. It's okay.
Well, I think
and like you just said earlier. Yeah,
it's okay to do that, and actually, it's still it will be what helps you get better, because that's where you get the data. I mean,
that's where we go back to what you said. Like you get better through while you perform.
Yeah,
it's not practice.
Be good to it's practice. I'm not gonna say practice isn't important, but it's still practice is going to be what helps you perhaps with getting certain skills, but mastery, becoming a better musician, becoming a better whatever your discipline is, is through performance, through doing. Just like, well, when we were talking about, you've been preparing for this podcast, and you've been preparing for a long time, but you're doing it now. And when we talk about, let's start with this. We'll talk about Cozy Sweater. Cozy Sweater is my show I'm producing.
That was the next thing we were going to talk about. Yes, please talk about Cozy Sweater.
So the Cozy Sweater, it was just it was a throwaway idea at first. I was directing music for a show a couple of months ago. My friend Thea, she produced a show called the Dovecliff County first annual winter extravaganza. That
is a name.
It was a fun, but it was a great show. I had such a blast doing it. But after I kind of like, this guy had there's some Sesame Street vibes I was getting from here. It's cute. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to do like an improvised Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers situation? Mr. Rogers was originally, but I think it's kind of grown to be more broadly like children's media.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it, the more I worked on it, like I thought it was a very silly idea at first. I thought it was, but that's the thing, is what drew me to it. I love silly. I love silliness. I love whimsy. And when as we kind of went through, I kept talking to people about it, and eventually my friend Deshaun Mason, he's now in Amsterdam with Boom Chicago, that's the name of the theater out there. A little confusing, but it's if like Seth Meyers went through Boom Chicago, a huge amount. I mean, there are many comedians who are huge now that when the Netherlands apparently is the comedy capital of Europe, or at least improv.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
So Amsterdam, at least. The thing is, I
got a story about them too. I know I told you about Finland.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk Finland. We gotta talk Amsterdam. Europe, you're next. But the thing is, though, what he told me before he sat down and we were talking about my project, and he told me it's like jumping into a pool. And maybe from the high dive, you can talk about jumping into the pool. You can run up to the edge. You can look and plan everything, but there's only one way to end up in that pool, and that's to jump in the pool. Planning to jump in the pool is not jumping in the pool. Running up to the edge is not jumping in the pool. It is when your feet are off the ground and you are in the water.
You are in.
That's what happens. So what you're doing now, I don't know if you felt like you were, did you have everything in place going in? But what you're doing now, you've taken the plunge.
I had nothing in place, my brother.
And here we are.
Nothing in place. And like I told you earlier, as we started the podcast, I started this, like I told you, there's a lot of things that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand that. I own that. You understand what I'm saying? You're like talking to artists like yourself, talking to artists from different genre, and especially people who actually are from here, born and raised. You understand?
Yeah.
So that helps me a lot. That helps me tremendously. I'm like, okay, this is something I can definitely do. Yeah. I was talking to Spence about this. It's like, man, like you just got to start, man. Like, just go ahead. Spence, he's one of those guys. Like I said, like you. You know what I mean? He's always pushing, helping. You know what I mean? Wanting to help people, encouraging people. That's kind of what he does. And last month, especially when I had my car became, I lost my car. In that accident. Yeah. And that lady almost damaged both me and my car. Yeah, she came on my side, drove on my side, like left her lane.
Whoa.
And drove through my lane.
That's okay. I didn't realize
she hit the car so hard, my brother. The engine of the car felt like right then and there.
Whoa.
That's how hard she hit the car.
Wow.
And guess what? Your brother felt nothing at the moment.
Wow.
Your brother felt nothing at the moment. I had nothing. Like, my feet were fine, stomach, like nothing, even. And what's crazy, I was shocked because the, when an accident, when your car get hit, right?
Yeah.
You supposed the airbag's supposed to be deployed. It wasn't even deployed.
Wow.
I guess it was my protection for the day because, had it deployed, maybe it hit me on the face and then, my nose, you know what I mean? So you didn't know what could have happened.
Yeah.
But in any case, this happened and I'm like, man, I got to start doing something. I don't know when I'm going to leave this earth.
Yeah.
Because you talk a lot of things that you want to do and you don't do them. And the next thing you know, tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start this thing. And then I came home and then I recorded myself and then said, hey, man, I got a podcast, Mind the Artist, coming through if you want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then here we are.
We got this going.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So,
no, absolutely. Well, and so, yeah.
I'm sorry it took me
no worries.
Yeah.
It sounds like you look great. I hope you're okay. Are you feeling okay?
I'm okay, my brother. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'm good. I'm okay. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hanging in there.
I've been in those scary situations. Yeah. But right, we were talking cozy sweater.
Cozy sweater, yeah.
Cozy sweater.
Yeah, not like this one though.
Yeah, I should have been wearing turtlenecks are pretty cozy.
Those are pretty. Man, you good, my brother. You're good. And I hope this is not our last time. And you're gonna come here, you realize, oh man, this sucked, man. I don't want to come back here. I hope this is not our last one.
Really, you are an amazing podcast host,
my
already.
brother.
I'm so glad I'm here.
I am humbled, man. You're gonna make me cry. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do that. I'll get you crying soon. So I basically had this idea of doing more of a improvised like PBS situation, public broadcasting service, and it was really fun to see this like little climbing bit by bit. At one point, I was thinking, it'd be fun to have puppets. Maybe we buy puppets. I don't know how to get the money for that. My friend, it's just these connections. You keep making connections. And I had a friend whose friend has a trombone and doesn't know how to play it. This friend also makes puppets.
Look at that.
And so I'm like,
synchronicity.
I'm like, I will. And tomorrow I have my first trombone lesson with them, and because they helped me make all the puppets. So this is wild, bartering trombone lessons for puppets I never thought in my life I would say the sentence, I bartered trombone lessons for puppets. But here we are. Which that's what happens when you don't take yourself seriously, but you take what you do seriously, right? It's always that, what is the fun, interesting thing to do? That's what I'm constantly looking for. So and we just had our first couple shows. Crazy, they've been phenomenal. They are geared to children, though it's it's for families, or people of all ages. I've had adults who came in just on their own, and they loved it. These are improvisers. We're funny.
I know.
We're snippy.
I know.
But what was I'd say the big thing though is whenever there's another thing I don't know if I necessarily need to always justify the projects I do with a public good, but I always, for some reason, it always comes in mind with that. And I am thinking about, okay, with the project I'm doing, why does this matter? Why should I love this, but why also should other people care? And I mean, it does connect to a deeper connection. And I think this is a reason why it drove me to find it to, I don't know if I'd say completion, but I mean, you could say completion that we finally had our show.
It is completion. We're talking about that right now, my brother.
But the thing is that, I teach children. I teach little kids, 3-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 40-year-olds. You know, I teach all ages, and it is a thing that, you know, when I go and I had a class this morning with a bunch of little kids, and you know, they didn't ask for the world that they are getting. They didn't ask for this. They don't deserve this, but here we are. And just like us, we're going to deal with it the best we can and pass it to them, where they're going to deal with it the best they can. And it's going to be good, it's going to be bad, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be all sorts of things. But the most important thing, and I hope that with the show, like, I'm hoping to introduce kids to laughter, to whimsy, to humanity, to maintaining their humanity. So
Community.
no matter, look, I'm not here to preach for them to believe any certain thing. All I want them to do is to keep their humanity through it all, right? And community, being able to connect, seeing each other,
because that's where it starts, is in the community.
We're a communal species.
That's where it starts, my brother. You know, and that's also the idea of this podcast, you know, is having the community of the independent artists to get together. Let's just bring a hoorah in this town. You know,
it's a big reason why I responded to your outreach. I thought it was a very, you know, I heard community. I thought, you know, you were really focused on that. Anyone who's focused on community, anyone who's focused on art, anyone who's focused to do something with this world to make it better. What you're doing right now is making it better, and I want to be a part of that.
I appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate that. And when I saw community, I definitely saw you with the group of people that you're working with, you know, and you've been working at with Catjam. You started Catjam.
I started it.
Yeah, and that's like, we're looking at like three years now, no?
Years ago. Wait, it was November of 2021. So that is 4
years. Yeah, going 4 years, my friend.
Almost 4 years.
Going 4
November
years.
25. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah. And when I saw that, I'm like, you know, I'm thinking like. And that's the thing with evolving with within the community, and then try to be part of the community, and try to interact with the community. Yeah, you know, I picked up this idea of doing this podcast with, and I know I keep bringing you as the main character. You are part of the main character. You know, you're actually part of the main character. It's just the way that you have your presentation, the way you have it. I felt like the first time I saw you perform, you did what you did at Uncommon Ground. You didn't do it like it wasn't something that came out exclusive. It was something that you put it out there for everyone to grab something. There was something in it for every single person in the room. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's what actually Uncommon Ground, that's what Uncommon Ground preaches, really.
Very much.
If we're going to be honest.
And Jake, who ran, he no longer is running it, but he ran the open mic there. He was huge. I think he was instrumental in that.
And this another dude I really love, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the greatest dude I've ever met, man. Yeah. Jake, let us know where you at, man. We're gonna send you that part exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and
timestamp.
Yep. But yeah, man. I saw something that we could we could do as a community, because a lot of the artists, they don't like to get. That's at least in my world. The way I look at it is just, I feel like artists, the independent artists, everyone wants to work with themselves. Yeah. And that's it. Forget about everyone else. I'm just gonna focus on myself here. This is my stuff. Y'all can stay over there. Yeah. But for me, I thought like, man, what if we could bring all these people together? Yeah. You know what I'm saying, dude? What if we could bring, like, you know, there's this young lady that I just met. Her name is Zoe. She performed at Uncommon Ground. And there was you, and there's a lot of other names. I'm like, what if we bring all these people together? Yeah. And communicate and have a show for the community. Yeah. Like have a black, cover that black, talk to the not the police, but the alderman.
Alderman,
Talk to the alderman,
yeah.
and then we have this black. We cover this black over there,
Black
and then
party.
we're going to have a black party for the community as independent artists of the community.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
Those are
and
great,
then get involved in different things. That there's a lot of people that needs us as artists in this community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how I started this podcast, man.
I love that.
And I know a guy like you could actually help with that. I know someone else who actually play another instrument, could help with that. Someone else who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A poet could help with that. Someone who slams. So like the other, my last guest was Orion Meadows. He's a poet. He's a slam poet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a slam poet. Amazing. Wow. I'm telling you, bro. Connect with him. As a matter of fact, I will share his profile
Orion.
with you. Yep. He's coming at you.
I've been pointing at that camera so much.
Hey, man. Keep pointing at it. Keep pointing at it. He's amazing, man. This is another guy we can bring in. And that's the idea of the podcast. Is just connect the community, get the artists together, the ones who want to be connected.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, it comes down to that community, because I think that's how we grow together. That brings us to a big reason I started Catjam. Let's talk
Catjam. We talked about Cozy Sweater.
Cozy Sweater.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions about Cozy Sweater.
Please.
Can I ask you before we get to back to Catjam?
Of course.
So Cozy Sweater. So you started it. You've had a few shows already, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any next shows coming up right now?
Yes.
When are those next shows?
We have. I always get March and May mixed up. March is the one we're in now, right? March 29th.
Yeah.
March 29th, the end of this month, we're going to be at the Bug House Theater. It's going to be a 5 p.m. show, so a bit earlier than most people. But once again, hey, your kids can come. That helps.
That's early.
After that, though, we now have a monthly show. It's going to be at Borelli's Pizza, who has been so supportive to me, to Catjam, to any of my other projects. And
that's gonna be you're gonna have it once a month.
First Saturday
of the month. Okay. Now we have a show on the 29th.
29th, and the next one's the 5th.
It's the 5th.
April.
Okay.
April 5th.
Okay.
That one, and actually, I know I say Borelli's Pizza, and like a restaurant. And yes, it is. It's a restaurant, but it's also like a jazz club. Okay. It's like they have a beautiful piano, they have a stage, and a big part of the Cozy Sweater too is that I wanted it to be a way to combine theater and music. So usually in an improv show, there's one person that's a musical director, so one person on keys to just add some light underscoring while the actors are doing their thing. This one, I have someone on piano, someone on bass, we've had a cellist, we have a saxophone player, drum kit. We have a full band.
That's a full band.
And they are amazing. They're improvising together and being able to add these things. It's magic.
Ad lib.
Yeah, completely. And then the performers are there doing the exact same thing, and you're kind of seeing this give and take sometimes too between it. And then the puppets come out, and the silliness goes wild, and we end up with a great party, and the kids have a blast.
I'm pretty sure
I wasn't sure if we could keep the attention of kids for so long. But we were able to, and that's a big thing. And it's because, shiny objects they love, but more importantly, they love a good story. The kids love a good bedtime story. They want to see something. And so, having kids see live theater, live improvised theater is so cool.
It seems like a really, well, not seem, it actually feels like a really, really, the word that I'm looking for here, it seems really, really unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know in the community if I've seen anything like this before.
Yeah, I mean, that's another big reason why I do a lot of things. I look for where people aren't. Where are people not looking? Sometimes there are places people don't go because of reasons. It's just not going to work out. This is a dumb idea. But at the same time, there are places that people don't go, and it's because they didn't think about it. And, that's...
Because, they didn't think about it. And there are things people are not going to, that's because you're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you got to keep doing things. Consistency is huge.
Yep.
Just being able to make those things happen.
So
and then
yeah.
Yeah.
So we cover Cozy Sweater, right?
Cozy Sweater.
Cozy Sweater. Yeah. So we check. You know, we got when the show.
Yeah.
You know, which is the 29th of this month,
and then the 5th of April, and then first Saturday.
And then first Saturday after that, any month.
Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. Y'all heard that. So y'all seen that, and y'all heard that.
You gotta come if you want to see some puppets. If you need some whimsy,
come on through. And I'm telling you, you're not gonna be disappointed.
Nope.
Chicago, North Side, especially Lakeview. Yeah. You're not gonna be disappointed. Rogers Park, Evanston. I'm not leaving y'all outside, South Side, the West Side. That's not East Side. I'm not leaving you guys outside. I'm just speaking to the North Side folks. That's all. But yeah, man. So now let's jump to Cat Jam.
Cat Jam. Yeah.
Yes. You do that on Tuesdays. Is that right?
Yeah. Currently, it's every Tuesday on the Tuesday. Never missing a Tuesday. We are at the Insect Asylum. So, I guess starting off, what is Cat Jam? Because I realized that's a thing that I thought, music jams were, I've been in before. But I think there's a little, there's a different feel to Cat Jam. I think it, just to say what it is, it's a pan-genre, pan-ability, come as you are jam. We don't know what's going to happen. There's not necessarily a huge hand of leadership. In fact, like if we have new people in, like we want you to share some of your songs. But the thing is, it's not like a spotlight is on any one person. The spotlight is on everybody. When you play your original song, you should expect that people are going to be playing along.
Join you.
Exactly. They're joining in. They're adding things. Maybe they're making mistakes, but we roll with it. And a lot of songwriters have come out of it saying, wow, I actually took some good ideas from that because I had other people playing my song.
I love it.
We also do whatever if someone starts to...
Spence. I know I keep mentioning his name because like this is a guy, I really love this dude, man. Spence, man. He's done a lot for my music career. You know what I mean? He's one of the people who actually came and realized that, man, Jean-Ricard, I see something in you and I'm going to help. And he would enjoy that Cat Jam, man.
Yeah.
I got to send
Spence,
him.
get over here.
He knows that. He knows he would enjoy it. Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
It's so that's essentially what it is. What you can expect if you come in, whether you're a musician or not, is that you will leave a better musician than you came in. I guess a little bit about the history of it is...
What was the idea? Like, why did you start this? Like, how did it came about?
Originally, it was just an excuse to party. I have to... Let's be frank. Like the best stuff just starts off as parties. But it is actually Uncommon Ground. It was because that also was an open mic that ended really early. Like it ended at like 8.
Yeah.
And a lot of people afterwards...
Usually 7 o'clock.
Yes, 7-ish. And I remember afterwards, a lot of people would go from there to all the way to Logan Square. Or just, is that where it is? There's the Gallery Cabaret out that way.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah. I remember it's right after a lot of people go there.
I've never been there, but
it's a nice spot. But I'm tired, right? I don't want to go all that way, and I live just around the corner.
Yeah.
So I said, "Hey, anyone want to come by my place? Let's just have a hang."
I almost went, but that day I couldn't. That day, I wish I had went because I thought like, oh, we're gonna do this every Sunday.
Yeah,
which is why if you're going to do something, do it.
Yep, you gotta do it. And I found consistently, if you keep doing things, people start to expect it, and then people start following it. So it started off just as like, hey, come on, let's hang out. And it kind of was more of a after party. It started on Sundays, and then for some reason, what was it? I think it was just with a lot of people going to Gallery Cabaret, and we wanted to hang out with those people too, that we moved it to Tuesday. And then it was just every Tuesday. Don't mean to get into the minutia of scheduling. But the thing is, so we did it. We just kind of kept doing it consistently. Summertime comes around, and we decide, okay, it's getting hot and sweaty. My apartment is a bit, it's about the size of a living room, and suddenly we're having 15, 16 people in here. I'm like, okay, it's gonna get sweaty. So we go to the lake by the clock tower. It's gorgeous. Sunsets.
I love it.
Night.
I love it.
Is so great. And we would do that. Then that's where Cat Jam was at the lake for a summer, and then it's getting cold, and so we're like, okay, we're bringing it back. But what happened was eventually, I think it was the second summer, was when things were really kicking off. And my neighbor, Maya, she works for a wonderful nonprofit, Urban Rivers. They are dedicated to cleaning up the Chicago River, increasing the green space in Chicago, educating people on the ecology and the environment out here, and how many things these jewels that live just right
What's the name
next
of that
door.
place? What's the name?
Urban Rivers.
Okay.
And what they have is on the Chicago River by Goose Island, they have what's called the Wild Mile. It's a floating garden. So you go down this ramp, and right there's this dock, and it's just this floating garden that just keeps going back.
Really?
And the goal is they're still building it, and the goal is to make it a mile long. This walk path, this boardwalk.
And where is that? Where exactly is that?
Yeah, it's on Kingsbury. There's an REI. There's the IO Theater. Actually, is right there. It's by the off the North and Clybourne Red Line stop.
North and Clybourne, right? Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, there we are.
Nothing Clybourne. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's gorgeous out there. So suddenly I'm going, okay, now I'm working with an organization, and that was new. I was going, this is a party, and now we're working with an organization. And I think it was as we were down there, Maya and Sage is also like their event coordinator, who's wonderful. We went down there and. They were giving a chat about they would talk about what they're doing, the wonderful things they do, and and we would have that coming up. And I went, oh, Cat Jam has suddenly become a platform for people who do cool things to be able to engage in a community. And I had talked to them later, and they were getting people requesting, signing up for the volunteer list, their coordination, and they got so much stuff from Catch Jam. This is a two-way street. And so that was kind of this little spark was coming up like, oh, there's some good that can come from this. And then winter is coming again, right? We can't be outside. This time now we're having crowds of 40, and you're like, that's definitely not fitting in my living room. So I happen to have been connected with Nina from the Insect Asylum. She owns it, and I had met her that summer, and we became friends. And at some point I went, hey, would you be willing to take us in? And she was like, I thought you'd never ask. And so like it was immediate. And
she was waiting.
We've been at the Insect Asylum. It has been the best experience.
That's beautiful.
It's
wonderful.
The Insect Asylum it's a bug and wildlife museum. So there's like butterflies and crickets and things you'll see. There's there are the beetles, there are the other things. They have a place upstairs where you can see a lot of these things. They have the snakes. They have everything. All the animals that they get there are ethically. They are rescued. They've come in. There's no way that they could be living outside, and they are needed. So it really, they do wonderful works. They're also an education-based group. And so working with them, it's kind of I am playing music in a room there's a possum just hanging out.
I saw the video.
There's a lizard that's in the kitchen. Toshi the Tegu is just chilling. And the thing I love is some people will be like, wow, this is a once in a lifetime event. This is amazing. I'm so happy to be here. And I sit here and I go, wow, this is my Tuesday. I'm very grateful for that.
No, man, it's go ahead, man. It's amazing, the Cat Jam, man. Like and this is why I'm so mad at myself. Every time I talk to you, what have I texted you about the most the last month or 3 months or so? It's always Cat Jam. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I see the video, I'm like, bro, this is me.
Yeah.
This is my stuff. Yeah. This is me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I'm like sitting here like, Once I get to my job, get the things that I need to do, and I get home, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have a car. That's it. I'm good here. You know what I mean? Especially like you're a social person. I'm not.
Understood,
I like to stay right here.
Yeah, we need it.
This is my space. I love to stay in my space.
Yeah, you need to have your energy. You need to have your space, right? You gotta be protective of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm that person. You know what I mean? And like even bro, I live in Chicago. I've been in Chicago for a total of 20, like most of my life.
Wow,
You know what I'm saying to you? But do you know, like I've only ridden public transportation. Maybe I want to say, okay, let's say for 20 years I've been in Chicago. I've only ridden public transportation a year out of that 20 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. I have to say, I really enjoy the public transportation out here. I get around from point A to point B pretty well. Can there be some characters on the red line? Like,
you're gonna get some characters.
You're gonna get characters, but just kind of knowing when to have the headphones on, or when if there are situations, kind of being in a city.
Exactly.
But like,
in Chicago.
I mean, I also have my bicycle that I ride around that has its own risks. But if you that's the beauty of the city. Once again, once you get a car, my goodness, I'm so sorry about your car.
Yeah, that's okay, my brother. That's okay. That's all right. We're gonna talk about the car another time. You know what I mean? Because we can get back to that. Because it's actually kind of a blessing and more of a blessing right now that I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, man, bruh, do you know how much money I pay in tickets? Living in Chicago.
This is the biggest reason I don't have a car. I do it by choice.
So exactly. So I'm like, I got a few of my friends telling me, bro, you should get a car. Like I'm like, no, bro, I need to chill.
Yeah.
There's a reason that this is one of the car that I love the most. You know what I'm saying to you? And then somebody came and destroyed it. I'm gonna sit down and lay back for a minute.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, yeah. But we'll talk about the car another time.
Right. We're talking about Catjam. Like, what's happening there? Let's talk about Catjam now. Well, we are
even. It's like we never touch it. But
so we've been working on. Right now we're trying to become just like the Wild Mile or the Urban Rivers, just like in the Insect Asylum. We're trying to become a 501c3.
Okay.
Because we do have a mission. I recognized, and that mission is to connect musicians, non-musicians, together with values-driven organizations. So people, I don't care if you're a private enterprise or 501c3. If you're doing good, I care. Right?
If you're doing good in the community, for the community.
Exactly. So I'm thinking about that. If you're doing something good that we can care about. And after that, when we use, the beautiful thing is music is this. It's the glue. It's the fabric of this community. That's
how we got connected.
Together. That's how we get connected. Music is a force. I think that this immediately is making me think of Rainn Wilson, if you know that actor from The Office, played Dwight. He's a really, really interesting guy now. Like it's interesting to hear his interviews, but like he talks about his definition of God. He sees it as more of like the way he sees God, not so much as a man in the clouds, but more as he sees it like God is like music. It's like it is this glue. It is this beautiful.
God is in everything.
God is in everything, absolutely. But but that music, and so I think that is what is so beautiful about that art form, and that's why I'm so drawn to music, to theater, to these arts, because it is a glue.
Man, I am so glad you were drawn to it, bro. Because like connecting with you, man, and a lot of times, man, I'm gonna let you finish, my man. But like a lot of times, like when we some people we meet in our lives that we never, we never knew we were going to meet these people. And not only that, we don't know who we're going to meet tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? But like once you meet that person that that your soul is, connected with, it's a beautiful thing, my brother.
Beautiful. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And music did that for us.
Yes. It's exactly. Music is what's connecting so many people. And so I think having a place where people can, they can connect with that. There are plenty of places where musicians can already connect with that. But I also look for non-musicians or people who once were, but when their band director told them that they was wrong with this band, that they took that and they left, that their heart was broken, their soul was shattered, they left the thing that they loved. I am doing my hardest here, I guess, to try to help bring people back to that.
Brother.
Because there's so many people who will come in and they'll say, I know 3 guitar chords, but it's never good enough, and I'm there to try to prove to them wrong, that they are good enough, and that when they come in to Catjam, they will see each other, they will see themselves, they will be confident in themselves because they will feel that support and that love and that goal.
Brother, I listen, like for me, like I see that love. I see that love to Catjam.
Thank you. Yeah. It's it really is a magical place to be. I am so fortunate to be able to have that weekly and soon bi-weekly, because we're going to have Catjams on Wednesdays at the back at the river, back at the Wild Mile.
Okay, so basically what we're saying here, it's on Tuesday now.
So yeah, it's still Tuesday, but you're going to get extra Catjam.
Oh, so it's going to be Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
So are we moving from like once a summer? Summer is around the corner right now.
Yeah.
So let's say once the summer comes, are we heading back to the lake now, or are we still staying inside at the...
It's gonna be Tuesday will be at the insecticide. So
okay.
that's still going on there.
Okay.
Sometimes we do spill out to the back, or we might do some other fun things. Certainly, I know we're planning even some camping trips and things like that. That'd be really fun.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, we've been talking about more
Wisconsin somewhere.
Indiana Dunes.
Oh yeah,
gorgeous. Yeah.
The Warren Dunes. Have you guys been to Have you been to the Warren Dunes?
Oh, the Warren Dunes?
Yeah, the Warren. No? Oh, yeah, the Warren Dunes. You have to try it, man. It's really nice. It's kind of the same as Indiana Dunes, but I like that one better because I feel like it's bigger.
Same. Yeah, I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, Warren Dunes. Yeah,
Warren Dunes. Okay.
Yeah, man. What else? What else we got, man? What we talk about?
We talking all sorts of
about
stuff.
a lot of different things.
I mean, and to bring actually something back here, which is lovely. I'm amazed I didn't talk about it at the top. A big reason I mentioned as music directing for shows. It was a thing. I thought my improv life was dead. Right after pandemic hit, it was gone. And then I just tried stand up. That didn't work, and then I ended up in music. So I thought I'll never go back though to Second City or the IO until my friend Ben Kingsinger, who puts on the river shows, the one where they're on the pylon. Maybe you've seen that. In the summer.